Okay, so today for my speech, I'm going to be informing my audience of the effects that social media has on today's society. Social media has many positive and negative effects on today's society, and I think most people could agree with that. It makes people insecure from viewing other people's social media life, makes it easier for families to keep up with each other, and can also take away from a hobby and or activity because of too much time spent on social media. So, how many hours a day do you spend on social media? I'd say most people would say maybe 6 to 7 hours. I mean, that is the average. Most people do spend an unreasonable amount of time on social media. Because, anytime you see somebody, they're usually holding their phone, scrolling through an app, or texting somebody, or, on a phone call. It's just what today's society has established as the new norm. But today, I chose this topic because social media has just changed the world in general. It's changed the outlook of most people's views on pretty much just about anything. And it can affect others' outlooks on life, just the way they communicate and everything. But one big negative about social media is that it can cause a lot of people to become insecure because, when they see the perfect life of other people's social media posts, they just wonder why they can't live like that, or like why their life isn't blowing up and getting, 200,000 followers or this many likes or this many comments or this many hearts on their posts. Like, they don't have as much reaction as other people do. So it makes them feel insecure. And I mean, have you ever looked at somebody's social media post and been like, well, man, like, I wish I had that, or I wish I looked like this or that, or just, it makes you wish that just something different was about yourself. And I think everyone can relate to that happening to them at least once. And a lot of studies show that, like, even with suicide and like successful attempts of suicide and non-successful attempts of suicide have stemmed from social media, especially in many young teens and young adults, adolescents. And it's just sad that a lot of this is coming from social media, from what other people have to say, cyberbullying, or like because they feel like they're not the perfect that society has created just by the outlook of social media. And although social media does have, that negative effect, it also has some positive effects. It can help others keep in touch with everybody, and especially families. I don't know about you, but I have family members that live, 500-600 miles away from me, so I can't see them every day, let alone even talk to them every day. So having social media, it does give me the option to, talk to them whenever I can. And especially for the family I don't see very often, just a simple FaceTime, or, sending them a Snapchat or a message off of Facebook Messenger. It just makes it easier for us to keep in touch, just to show each other that, I still think about my aunt that lives in Florida. So, I can just send her a picture and be like, hey, miss you guys. How are you all doing? We can just have a small conversation. But, it makes it 10 times harder, especially when, a birthday comes around, or the holidays, or just an anniversary. Like, I missed my aunt and uncle's 15-year anniversary because, they're down in Florida. I'm up here. I have a job. I have school. It's not like I can just drop everything and go see them just because, we're 500-600 miles away. So social media does give you the option to communicate with people that you don't get to see very often. But even with, the positive effects of social media, there still are, the other negative effects. And with social media being so popular nowadays, it's just like it has almost taken over everybody's life. Because, I mean, how many times have you caught yourself just scrolling through an app hour over hour over hour? You just catch yourself and it's been, 3 or 4 hours on the same app and you don't even realize it. I mean, that's sad. You could just be sitting there, like, TikTok has become very viral, very popular, And it's very easy to get addicted to because, you sit down, you think, okay, I'm going to take a 15-minute break from my homework. And, you're just sitting there scrolling through TikToks. Don't even bother watching the time. And then all of a sudden you look up and it's been 2 hours that you sat down. So you've lost all this precious time that you could have been spent doing something else, something way more productive, like homework or housework or just anything you need to get done in general. And it's just, it's sad, honestly. It is sad of how much time is taken away from our lives from us spending on a phone or an electronic or social media. It doesn't even have to be like, you're talking to somebody. It's just you're sitting there watching video after video or just looking at post after post, just browsing. And that is where the negative effects come into play, because it's just almost being abused by us, because it's just taking so much time from hobbies. We could go out and be spending quality time with our family members or doing work, and that's just where it takes away from. So in conclusion, there are positive and negative effects of social media on today's society. The negative effects, can stem from feeling insecure from others' posts or feeling like it's not perfect. This can cause depression in a lot of young teens and adults, and taking away time from our day-to-day lives that we don't even realize because we're addicted almost. But there are the positive effects. It helps you communicate with other family members. But if you remember nothing else from my speech, remember this: is social media really worth the time you're losing every day on it?